Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for the new Apple TV series, Drops of God, Episode 1, A Father. This is directed by Odin Ruskin, written by Kwak Dong Tran. The Drops of God is a Japanese manga series about wine, written by Tadashi Agi, a pseudonym employed by a creative team of sister and brother Yuko and Shin Kibayashi, illustrated by Shu Okimoto. This manga ran from 2004 to 2014, so there's plenty of material to be adapted. In this episode, Camille heads to Tokyo after receiving an unexpected call from her estranged father. The show stars Flo Griffier as Camille Ledger, Tomohisa Yamashita as Issei Tomin, and Diego Robin as Luca Inglis. And I really enjoyed this. So I have read a little bit of the manga. I didn't finish it. Um, and mainly because I was reading it on it's one of the Comixology originals that they imported into their platform. But unfortunately, the lettering's not very good in the manga, like the translation. So I didn't get around to finishing, but I really enjoyed the concept. I think it's a very niche manga. So also the material for the TV show will also appear to be a little bit niche, but I like the way that we have adapted that material to the first episode. So the story centers on Camille Ledger, and this is she has a French name. Apologies if I mispronounce that. A young woman who is thrown into a competition with another man, Issei Tomin, to win her father's fortune and wine collection. The competition will consist of three grueling tests that challenge the competitors' abilities to identify three different wines and their origins. The test will also reveal more about Camille's father, adding a layer of mystery and storytelling to the audience. So there are multiple things that I enjoyed about this first episode. This episode, and I watched it in the original language that it was shot, so we actually get to hear French, Japanese, and English, and it kind of interchanges throughout depending on where they are. Some of the story takes place in France originally. A lot of the story also takes place in Tokyo, and then a lot of the characters that don't speak the same language, they communicate in English. Um, so their own native language, then they communicate in English, which I'm glad I watched it that way. I really feel that this is the way it was intended for viewing. I'm sure you can watch it all dubbed in whatever language you prefer if it's available. But I wanted to feel what it was like for these actors to be in their own voice, which I feel like it brings more to the story. And there's enough English spoken throughout the show for me to take a break from reading subtitles. So that was not really a big issue. I really wanted to immerse myself in the world, which is really like this is my favorite way that we have done an international show in a little while that I've seen. Sometimes even movies, like when they're international, it really just means that a bunch of English speaking actors are going to somewhere, and that they don't speak English, but for some reason somebody always happens to speak English. I think Wakanda Forever did a really good job with using native tongues too. So that was that's just a level of detail that I appreciate. Also, the visual effects used in Drops of God are very impressive. I think the creative team is using a range of techniques to just create really immersive experience. Whether there's some shots that you see through different doors, or these long hallways, or even just partially partially blocked, or maybe your vision is partially obscured. Um, it's very interesting storytelling, which I really appreciated. I appreciated that the craft that went into that. um and I think Camille Ledger is excellent as we follow her through the story. I feel like she really is our protagonist, also because it is adapted from a manga. It has a few of those little tropes. It's definitely not like a shonen battle manga or anything, but manga has different few tropes that we see a protagonist, we see a rival, we see things like there's a main conflict, and this is just storytelling. But because I know the manga background. It just adds a little bit more to that. But she has a really engaging presence as we follow her throughout the show. Her character has a really unique backstory that it's shown a lot throughout this first episode. That really makes her a more three-dimensional character and a three-dimensional protagonist. So as the story unfolds, the audience, I think, will be drawn into those complexities, especially her relationships with her father, and then other characters that are maybe trying to help her along her journey. Also, she has a really interesting obstacle with the type of challenge that she's been faced. I don't want to get too much into it. Now, I do think Drops of God may be a bit of a hard sell to people that are not really interested in wine, but the series offers something much more than that. It really is an international drama that just happened to take place in the world of wine. But the first episode really sets the bar very high. And it'll be interesting for me to see how the rest of the series develops. Overall, I really enjoyed the series. It's visually stunning and just a captivating story. Really recommend, especially if you have Apple TV. And I think it's something that you should add to the up next on your Apple TV. Um, like I said, I didn't finish the manga, so I don't know exactly where the story goes, but I do know we're in for quite a ride with the first few episodes. I also would like to go back and check out how much of the manga we're adapting into each episode. This is really one of the first things that I can remember that I'm reading something or watching something that's adapted from a manga into a live action media, straight into a live action media without some kind of animated, something in between. Usually we'll get a manga, an anime, and then sometimes they'll bring that to live action for better or worse results. So I'm very excited for this. And very excited to see they're doing a weekly release. I did miss the original weekend release was this past week as of the recording of this video. So there should be about 3 episodes out. So I got plenty of stuff to catch up on. So I'll keep talking more. Stay tuned to the lives. I'll probably talk more about Drops of God. And if you have a Comixology Unlimited or Kindle Unlimited subscription, go check out the manga. I think if you can look past the lettering, I think you'll probably enjoy it. So let me know if you have seen this. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.